Episode 10 of Big Deke News, Wednesday, January 19th. This is the 6 o'clock edition. Pitt Hoops back at it again after a nice win against Louisville this past weekend. And also, we got some Steelers stuff to talk about. Tonight at 9 at the Peterson Event Center, the Pitt Panthers, who have a 7-10 record on the season, face off against the Virginia Cavaliers, who have the opposite record. They are 10-7. Just so happened these teams competed against each other earlier this season in December. This one will no doubt be a revenge game for Pitt as they lost that game after being up 4 with 11 seconds left. First, Virginia gets an and one. Then the refs make a BS 5-second call on Pitt. Virginia gets the ball back. Dude throws a shot up with his eyes closed, and it miraculously goes in, a la Kawhi Leonard's shot against the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago. And ultimately, Virginia gets lucky with the win. Jaden Gardner, UVA's top scorer, has struggled as of late, only scoring 4 points and 9 points in his last 2 games. Outside of him and Armand Franklin, Virginia doesn't have that dynamic of an offense. So, ding, 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 this doesn't really take a rocket scientist. The key for the Panthers against Virginia is stop Gardner and Franklin. Panthers guard Jamarius Burton is coming off of his best game of the season last week against Louisville. 20 points on 61% shooting, adding 8 boards, 4 assists, and a steal. Hughley added 19 points, and Mogi continues to play well. With Pitt being at home, I'm not expecting the same BS that happened late in last game to happen in this one. But with that being said, Virginia is still favored, minus 3.5 on the line. Pitt money line is plus 146, which is what I'm taking. Already put $10 on it. I got to get off the snide. I got to get off the cold streak that happened from last Sunday. And hopefully we can start getting this investment account back to even. Next bit of information we're going to discuss on Big Deke News Evening Edition are the Steelers. And particularly Mike Tomlin and his press conference yesterday, where he made many comments that created waves in the news. And what I want to discuss in particular are the ones that he made on Matt Canada. Tomlin on Canada says, I'm optimistic about Matt Canada and what he's capable of doing. I acknowledge we took a step back. There are obvious, tangible reasons why that occurred. But what's there to be optimistic about? The flea flickers, the 4th and 1 halfback tosses, not mixing the approach up when things obviously aren't working, or also just not playing to your personnel strengths. And speaking of personnel, he goes on to say this: when you've got red paint, you've got to paint the barn red. Basically indicating the personnel wasn't there for Canada to succeed. Then why was he brought back as the offensive coordinator? Why? That's the question. Is the answer for the future? Because as of right now, that doesn't really sit right with me. When you have Ben fucking Roethlisberger coming back for potentially his last season, you just don't take that for granted. Or is it because his style fit the personnel that we had? Well, no, we just heard Tomlin's response to that. But also, even before the season, we knew this had the potential to be a weird fit. But if that's the case, don't the great offensive coordinators make their scheme and system fit to the personnel that they have? And if you're going to ask me to choose between who I think should command the offense between a GOAT quarterback, Hall of Fame credentials, multiple Super Bowl champion, coming off a season where he had 33 touchdowns, or a college offensive coordinator, I think the answer is obvious. But then that leads us to the next question as to who had control over this offense. Because based off Tomlin's comments, it seems like Canada's really not much to blame, huh? Steelers insider Jerry Dulac tweeted this out during the wildcard game. After Ben Roethlisberger led a 75-yard touchdown drive, Chris Collinsworth wondered on TV, "Where's that Ben all night?" Dulac says, "I'll tell you where." He finally said, "Heck on those plays, he's getting in his helmet and deciding to do things his way. Trust me." We saw this type of shit happen countless times in the second half of games this season. Most points in the fourth quarter. Ben led the league in game-winning drives. Don't think it's a coincidence. I've even seen some tweets from Charlie Batch throughout the season questioning the autonomy of the offense. I don't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes this season, but based off these comments from Tomlin's press conference, and then when you start to connect the dots and also consider that Tomlin referenced mobility at the quarterback position multiple times throughout the season, it's just ain't it. It just ain't sitting right. Just ain't it. And what I mean by that is this: if an unproven candidate was brought in to be the future at offensive coordinator in this 2021 season, which I think is safe to assume considering Tomlin's comments on personnel and also that he's optimistic about Canada going forward, all of that while overlooking going all in with Ben Roethlisberger at the helm for potentially his final season, that's just egregious. Complete disservice and disrespectful. A couple seasons ago, Russell Wilson started promoting his slogan, "Let Russ cook." In Pittsburgh, it should have been, "Let Seven cook." all damn season. But that is it for episode 10 of Big Deke News Evening Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chillin' and peace.